Yeah, that's right, we are back. Today I'm pretty excited because I've been sent a package and I'm hoping that inside is the Lycaon 3.0 TRX all-terrain skateboard. So without further ado, let's take a look inside. Open this bad boy up. Okay, a bit of packaging. Woo. Okay, first thing we've got is what looks to be a spare deck grip and some more deck grips. And we've got the skateboard itself. Oh my goodness. So I can get this one out. Whoa. Crikey. Let's get the wrapper off. Bit of a wrestle and a tussle, and there she blows. I'll throw some numbers at you. So these are the 6360 motors. They've got a maximum 2,600 wattage, and that provides a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour or 31 miles an hour. It's a nice carbon fiber deck, and this has got what they call the tub concave. At the smallest part it's 8.5 inches wide, and at the widest part it's just over 10 inches wide. There's a 38-inch wheelbase, and overall the board is just over 40 inches long. The deck has also got this double drop design, and that helps with stability at the higher speeds. Let's take a look over on the bottom side, and there seems to be a charging port here. The battery on this one is the Mollisau P42A battery, and that's housed in this carbon fibre deck, and that takes 4 to 5 hours to charge and provides up to 30 to 35 miles worth of range depending on the rider weight and the type of the terrain. On the underside you can also see we've got these double Kingpin trucks. I'm looking forward to trying those out, see how they carve and turn. It's 10 kilos in weight, and I think mostly due to the battery and the electronic components. Obviously the carbon fibre deck keeps that down a bit. This is the extra grip job, so that seems to cover the whole of the deck as opposed to just the middle bit, so I guess that's down to personal preference. There's also these extra bits of grip which provides a sort of halfway house, I guess, keeping this middle bit nice and down, and then you can just grip up these side bits should you need to. I've checked out the website and there's 4 different types of wheel available. These are the largest off-road all-terrain 155mm blow-up wheels. You've also got the option of 90mm more skateboard orientated wheels, or you've got some tarmac wheels that are 97mm, or you've got 115mm wheels that are off-road wheels but they're not blow-up. Now this carbon fibre deck looks pretty substantial. It's rated to 200 kilos, so I'm hoping it will support me no problem. Let's get rid of this board now. I think that's pretty much all the features on there. And let's take a look what else is in the box. Okay, we have got the all-important controller. Now this charges up with a USB cable that is also provided, so I'm going to plug that one in and give it a charge up. They've also provided a skate tool, which is pretty handy, get those trucks just the right softness. We've got the charger for the board. This looks nice and simple. This just has a red LED while it's charging, and then that turns to a green LED once the board is fully charged. They've also provided a set of the 90mm wheels. Now these are more reminiscent of the wheels you might find on a longboard. 90mm across, and with a 78A Durameter. So nice and soft, nice and wide. And these come with the bout drive adapter and also some extra belts. And I'd imagine it needs extra belts because these are all different sizes. I can't wait to get cracking. I'm going to pop these 2 on charge, then I'm going to get out there and give it a whirl. Okay, everything's charged up and we're off. So I'm just going to lean forward as I accelerate. I've had a couple of goes on this just to get used to it. Tried it on grass first because I thought that might be prudent. And the family had a lot of fun on the grass. Obviously if you come a cropper it's less emotional on the grass. I did find there was more resistance though, so when I take my hand off of the accelerator the board coasts, and on grass that feels very much like a deceleration. And the biggest thing that I've been practicing is my weight distribution. So whenever the board accelerates, I need to lean forwards to match that acceleration. And whenever I decelerate, I also need to lean backwards. Now that is pretty counterintuitive because on my regular skateboard I found that if I don't stay centered over the board, all hell is going to break loose, and it usually ends up in an emotional fashion. In fact, I've found that whenever I lean back on a skateboard, that's pretty much the worst thing that I can do. Whereas on the electric skateboard, it's really necessary. As anybody who's tried electric powered vehicles will know, the torque is instantaneous with the electric motors, and the power will come on evenly at any point in the speed. So if I accelerate from now, it'll whiz forwards really quickly, just the same way as when I start off. So I'm trying to match my leaning backwards and forwards and anticipate what I'm going to be doing with this controller. Now I do find that this controller is quite sensitive, but sensitive in a good way. So once I've matched my body weight with the acceleration, I'm sort of in sync, and then I'm cruising along, having a lovely old time. I'm here at the Camel Way today, and this is a rather nice spot to try this. There's no traffic other than pedestrians, dogs, and a little bit of bicyclists. So it's reasonably safe. The surface today is sort of tarmac with a loose top on, and I've got the 155 pneumatic off-road wheels, and they seem to be dealing with it really nicely. I can carve, and they sort of grip into it. I would say the carving feel is a little bit more like snowboarding, and the overall feel is pretty free. Feels like I'm sort of on a hoverboard, going along effortlessly. I'm going to go across a bit of off-road stuff here just to, woo! Oh, plenty of off-road. It's very liberating to be able to go over any bumps without too much fuss. Also not have to push off. I can go faster whenever I want. I can also go slower. It's got brakes on it, so when I brake, I'm going to lean backwards now, brake, come to a stop, and then when I accelerate, and lean forwards a bit. And that's the main thing I've had to practice, is just getting used to that weight distribution. It doesn't take too much practice, but to start with, it's pretty frightening. And I haven't come a cropper, but I've certainly snatched a glimpse behind the curtain of what could go wrong. And I reckon it's fair to say it could be pretty exciting. I'm finding the double drop deck is excellent for carving. Don't have to worry about any wheel bite, and I can really carve as hard as I want. Also, with my stance, I've got my feet locked in to either end of that deck, and I found that provides a little bit of stability when I do accelerate and decelerate. I'm just going to go up to full speed, see how that feels. Here we go. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. That's it, just whoa, bring it back down again. Trucks feel nice and stable. I had a lot of fun finding out how tight those trucks can go by just doing some 360s. And I found that if I match my speed with the amount of lean, you can do sort of an infinite carve. And that isn't usually available on a regular skateboard. No, that is a lot of fun. For some reason I find doing heel side 360 turns the easiest, and the toe side ones are the hardest. I'm sort of dodging the rain today, but another advantage of the electric skateboard with the all-terrain wheels on is it's not going to be the end of the world if there's a bit of moisture knocking around. Usually with regular skateboarding, that is the end of the session for me, any moisture, and I'm out of there. I was slightly surprised how physical the electric skateboarding is. On my first couple of sessions, the next day I was pretty stiff. I reckon I was using some muscle groups that I haven't used in a while. I was a little bit sceptical as to where electric skateboarding might fit in, because I am a regular skateboarding enthusiast. But I'm sort of viewing this as a totally different avenue to explore. It does feel a little bit more like snowboarding or hoverboarding than regular skateboarding. And the electric skateboard does offer a few advantages over regular skateboarding. Number one is the terrain that I can access. I wouldn't really be able to skateboard down here and have a lovely old time just due to the surface of the road and the sheer amount of pushing off that would be required. Even a big longboard would be pretty rattly down here, and you'd be pushing off all the time because it is very flat. I'm also thinking that this would be an excellent mode of transport. If you wanted to get from A to B and you're obsessed with skateboarding like I am, why not go from A to B on a skateboard style device? I'm also thinking I can have a trip out with a family. They could be on their bicycles and I can still get my skateboarding fix, come down the Camel Trail, they're on their bikes, and I'm going to be carving and swooping along. I'm going to go a bit faster. And then if I need to brake, I can brake, and that is pretty liberating from the perspective of skateboarding. Usually that braking would be some sort of power slide or putting your foot down or just jumping off. But I've got the ability to go down and up hills without too much kerfuffle. There's 4 different riding modes. The first one is low, second one's medium, third one is high, and then you've got the pro mode. At the moment I'm on medium mode just for a nice mellow cruise. It goes as fast as I can currently cope with emotionally. It's pretty terrifying. If I go up to full speed, you'll see the look on my face. I'm going to do another video where I put on the 90mm skateboard style wheels and see how that affects the ride. There is a little bit of a delay with the carve on these pneumatic wheels just because the sidewall complains a bit, but it soon snaps back and then I can get my turn to finish and it feels pretty nice, sort of like a bit of a drift. So I'm interested in how those skateboard wheels feel. I anticipate they'll feel a little bit more direct, but it will limit the terrain that I can ride the electric skateboard on. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe. I make new videos every week. You can also follow me on Instagram at John Bishop Skate. As ever, my name's been John Bishop and I'm a middle-aged guy learning how to electric skateboard.